But anyway, she manages to be incredibly annoying when she needs something. So I may need to tend to her pretty soon. A comics question. Yes, please, Beanie Tuesday. During the layout phase, what order do you do things? Drawings first, then add panels around them, or panels, then drawings? Do you do a lot of thumbnailing beforehand? Does fitting in text ever give you trouble? I'm in this phase right now. It feels like a bigger pain than it should be. Okay. So let me think about the order I do this in. So I script everything first. I don't do thumbnails really. I do scripts where I write out what happens in every panel. Then when I'm ready to draw, I draw the panels without anything in them, just like the shape of the panels. And I do it all digitally, so it's going to change. It's not like final, but I like to just get it down. Try to commit softly to everything in the beginning. Then I do, usually after that, I'm like, ugh, I'm already feeling too lazy to do the drawings. So I'll do the lettering right after that. Like I'll just do the panels and then like write out like an approximate, I'll type it out, like type out all the words into the panels that they belong in. And then I see if that looks good. I'll start doing like a very rough drawing of all the posing. And I'll put the text roughly where I think it belongs. And then, during that time, I'll start to reshape the text a little bit. Like the text is, I do hand lettering, but the text is a reference for what I'm going to do. Let me see if I've got an Octopus Pie page. I can just show you guys this shit. I usually keep the layers intact. Let's see. I'm working on all kinds of secret things right now that I don't want you to see, but regardless, let's get to it. Okay. Here's one from the latest story. So let's get rid of everything we don't need. That is like the final inks that get laid in way at the end. So the first thing I do is these panels. This is much easier than describing it. I can show you the actual process this way. So after I've done the script, this is, I just have this. And like this has been through a few revisions. I've definitely like moved it around after the fact, but this is basically what I start with. Then I've got, no, I don't do that yet. I do the text first. So I do a layer of all the text. And I just type it out with like a font that I've been using forever as like, like the spacing of it, the size of it, and like the way it looks roughly gives me like a pretty good idea of how it's going to look when I do the hand lettering. So I get it where I want it to look. Usually I know the balloons are going to be up top, but again, like this text gets moved around a lot before the whole thing is finished, but it just sort of allows me to see if any panel is too wordy or um, like the text is part of the layout and like the flow of the page. So I want to make sure that the text is sort of traveling in the direction that I want the entire page to travel in. So, if anything at this point is out of place, then I can make those corrections. Then I lay down, let's see, where's my first attempt? You can see like a drawing I didn't use there. They usually are about this rough. And then I start to do like a better version where they're like pretty close actually to, at least to me, these look pretty close because they have the feeling of the final drawing. And this is, I think, where the most important drawings happen. If I don't get the energy of the drawing down in the roughs, then I haven't done my job. And this is why I don't consider these thumbnails, because they're just too close to the final thing. So this is where like, these are my least favorite weeks when I'm laying down these drawings, because I really do need to think about them. Even though I don't need to think about laying them down very accurately, I feel like I see what the drawing is going to be in here. And my job at this point is to not lose what I want the drawing to be. So yeah, you can see like this this ended up moving. Actually, not that much ended up moving in this one, but you can see where like the corrections do end up happening. Then I do a really tight pencil layer, like almost inks, that looks super close to the final thing. I don't like to do a lot of thinking when it comes to the artwork. Well, when it comes to like, I don't like to think about composition or posing or any of the like really thinky stuff by the time I get to the ink stage. So then I do, I print it out. Like at this point, I would print it out. I take it down to like a really transparent layer, which is why all of these are starting that way. I do the inks on paper, and then I come back when I have the scan. So at this point, you know, it's just a matter of like laying down the tones. And you can see I just like lettered over the letters, and they stay in pretty much the same place. I take some liberties with them, but for the most part, the lettering is my guide. And yeah, and then I do like I'm using this version of Manga Studio that they don't even make anymore. Like it's not even called Manga Studio anymore, but I've been using this shit forever, so I just refuse to to update it. So then like I lay down the tones. It's pretty easy. I'm sure Clip Studio Paint is the same thing, where you just you can just fill it in with the bucket. Oops. Apparently not. You have to refer to the other layers, but you can just like fill it in with the bucket. So sometimes I draw it if I have to, but usually I'm filling it in, and then I'm making adjustments to like the density of the the dots within this program. It's really easy. Or at least for me, it's really easy because I've been doing it this way for such a long time. So that's how a page is made from start to finish. Now, did I actually answer your questions? Does fitting in the text ever give me trouble? So fitting in the text is definitely like a muscle. I used to get stuck with that all the time. I used to, you know, hate the lettering the way I think a lot of cartoonists kind of dread the lettering. And it was useful for me, and this just like sounds like such a cliche at this point, but it was useful for me to think about the lettering as part of the drawing rather than as like something that is meant to be like overlaid on the real drawing. The kind of way like people don't approach backgrounds that way, and then backgrounds seem like a chore too. You know, if you can think holistically about it, I like to hand draw the balloons. I like to hand letter because to me it's like all part of the drawing. So I use a combination of like the digital guide and just sort of my, you know, remembered understanding of like how much space I think the letters are going to take up. And I use the computer to do a lot of adjustments to make sure that everything fits. But it's really a sense that I've trained over the years. And the more you do it, the more you know in advance where it's going to be. So that's that. I think that was more interesting than the work I'm doing on this UI right now. So hopefully that was interesting to you guys. So what else do I want to do on this stream? All right, well, I think like linking to each part of the individual, no problem. I like talking about this stuff. I think linking to the individual menus and stuff is going to actually be really boring for you guys. So I'm glad I'm talking about this instead. Is there anything else you guys want me to talk about? I feel like the stream has gone off the rails, and I only wanted to stream for a little while, but I'll talk about a little bit more if there's anything you guys want me to talk about. I do love talking. I love a good lecture. Pushed image, so that means after it's been clicked. I think I might be able to use that, but all right. I'm just going to go back and separate all those assets the way Garrett so kindly did for me, and I just like completely neglected to keep intact. Okay. Do I have any inspirations humor wise? Oh, Heidi. Yeah, Heidi's gonna want my attention. I mean, she wants it now, but she's gonna get it in a few minutes. Humor wise, I mean, I'm sure it all goes in. Um, everything I expose myself to. The kind of humor I think is really funny. Uh, God, I feel like I'm gonna be telling on myself whatever I answer with. I mean, my favorite comedy um, is probably like my favorite show. One of my favorite shows, my favorite comedic show that I always come back to is The Comeback, which I don't know how well loved that show is at this point, but if you've never seen it, that is a top 5 show for me. It's like one of the funniest things I've ever seen, but it's also like deeply painful. It's like The Office, like the UK version of The Office, where it's shot documentary style. It's like an early 2000s reality show parody kind of thing. At least the first season is early 2000s, and it's about this. Yeah, it's Lisa Kudrow, and I think what I like about it is that like I love, again, like The Office, I love when a person plays like a monstrous version of themselves and is willing to do that. I guess this is why I love Girls too, where Lena Dunham just plays like this absolute troll version of herself. But like Lisa Kudrow plays this actress who's past her prime and she's trying to make a comeback on, like, she's on a sitcom and she's also making a reality show about the production of the sitcom. And I mean, there's really nothing else to say. It's just like incredibly painful and hilarious. I feel like I go back to that well a lot. And when I think about like the kind of things I write, um, uh, specifically in Perfect Tides, although like it makes its way into Octopus Pie too, because the characters are like a more distributed version of how I see myself. But like with Perfect Tides, where like I'm writing more of a like a personal analog, the the most like pathetic and like selfish and stupid parts of myself come through, and that to me is like some of the funniest stuff. Like, what could be funnier than that? Just like writing about your own deficiencies and specifically the deficiencies that you're afraid everybody can see about you. So yeah, I would say that's probably what's influenced me the most in recent years. No, I've never seen Hacks. I don't know anything about that. Give me the elevator pitch. Oh my God, Heidi is just like, she's just laying down like she's given up, but the kind of giving up where her ears are still like listening to see if I'm about to move. This poor dog. I should go in a second, but yeah, tell me about the show Hacks. Comedian. Oh, is it she's just like playing a oh really? Oh yeah, no, I would love to see somebody playing Joan Rivers straight. I mean, I would love to see Joan Rivers, but in her absence, that sounds incredible. I'll check it out for sure. I mean, I just love a singular voice. I feel like I just started rewatching 30 Rock, and I'm seeing, Tina Fey's very specific style of humor. And I don't think she skewers herself really. Like, it's 30 Rock is so great. It just in terms of like the ensemble cast and the way it's structured. Though I don't feel like she skewers herself. I actually feel like Tina Fey is like a very beautiful woman who like uh uh she depicts like what are like kind of like adorably ugly things about herself, but she doesn't go all the way. She still shows herself to be like, you know, something more aspirational than the worst part of herself. But I love that show. I'm getting into collecting physical media with my husband now, and we just got he got me 30 Rock on Blu-ray for Hanukkah, and the God, they've advanced in the years since I was buying this shit. Oh no, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Um, uh, in the years since DVD menus were musical and animated and made you wait, now it's just like menu screen, choose your episode. We all get what this is. So yeah, I've just been watching that like crazy, and it's just so fucking funny. Like really excellent, excellently structured sitcom episodes. But yeah, I would absolutely love to check out Hacks because I love one person uh, depicting themselves in a way that is like, hilarious and painful. Definitely my favorite genre, if there's a name for that. Autofiction, I guess, to an extent, like a comedic autofiction. Anyway, I gotta go. This dog's gonna just like, she's gonna like die like the dog in Futurama. She's gonna like close her eyes and die. So um, before that happens, I'm gonna go let her out in the backyard. But thanks for watching today, guys. I will probably do another stream next week where I show off the finished menu screen after I've done all the boring work. So have a good week, you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.